Wednesday, May 14th, 2025, wherever you are, however you may be listening, thank you for making me a part of your day. As always, a free way you can support this channel, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment in the comment section, all for the algorithm. But otherwise, let's go ahead and dive on in. So we have from Swissblock here, no FOMO, but this is a rare signal. So rare that we kind of had it in October and in November/December. But anyway, it's a good sign. You know, the cycle indicator just crossed upward, making the start of an alt season. Maybe not the alt season, but an alt season. It's the first bullish signal since late November, which sparked a 15-day altcoin season. So, hey, keep that in mind. 15 days. We're not talking about months. Like really real alt season, true alt season, like 2021 alt season lasted a few weeks. Okay. So just keep that in mind. But a 15-day alt season in November. Altcoins may shine, but be careful. Follow for updates. Follow Swissblock if you want updates on that. You can see in October, September, October, this signal from the cycle indicator could also prove to be short-lived, with the altcoin rally fading quickly. In the end, it all hinges on Bitcoin's next move and its dominance. So we had a little bit of a moment in October that barely anyone remembers, but then we had a bigger moment in November, which if we were to follow November's lead, then we would see Bitcoin's dominance fall to about 58%. From where it is right now, it's a little under 63%. So could it be more significant than that? It certainly could, but this is a wave. Let's ride the wave and let's see how big this wave gets, not financial advice. Moving on, MVRV momentum. The bulls are back in town. Alert, alert. Bitcoin has claimed the key one-year MVRV momentum average, historically marking the beginning of a sustained positive price action for Bitcoin. Is this the beginning of the exponential phase of this bull cycle? So you can see here again, what does this mean? We have this one-year average. MVRV, if you don't remember, is market value over realized value. And so it's essentially communicating how much Bitcoin holders are in profit. And you can see the bottom part here, the pink part is when we're under the moving average, the one-year moving average. The green part is when we're above it. And look at what happens when we cross the green part. Pretty simple to understand. This is what happens when we cross the green part. We tend to move higher short term. And we did have this period of indecision here in July, August of 2024. Let's hope that this is not just a false breakout. I tend to not think it is, given how much time we spent below this indicator. So more bullishness, more short-term bullishness. We will see where this leads us. Okay. Bitcoin short-term holder supply. Bitcoin short-term holders continues to decline sharply. Yesterday, crypto had all the reasons to break out with a China deal. Stocks 4% up, and it didn't. MSTR at levels that marked the 2021 dead cat bounce. I still don't trust this rally. So, be careful, be mindful. I shared a chart with featuring long-term holders yesterday. And long-term holders are somewhat topping out as well. So it's a thing. It's not everything. This can certainly turn around really quickly. Look at what happened towards the end of 2024 is we did bottom out and then we shot higher. So how much lower does this go is the question. We'll see. And it could turn around at any point. But this is another thing that would communicate to me. I mean, really, look at the end of 2021 here. There was barely anything that happened with short-term holders. This would communicate to me that we're not going to see some big explosive alt season, big explosive move up in Bitcoin. That, yes, we have the M2 money supply chart that we're following apparently, but there's plenty of indicators that would communicate that new all-time highs may not go all that much higher than previous all-time highs. Another thing that may interest only me, here we go, smart money. What's the smart money doing? They're going all in on Bitcoin. We have businesses. They've only in 2025 added 157,000 Bitcoin, funds and ETFs 49,000, other 21,000, governments 19,000, and yet individuals, you and me, are you selling your Bitcoin at $100,000? I think that's kind of Kind of lame if you are, but minus 247,000 for individuals. So what's the smart money up to? Well, you can see it here. They are certainly adding to their stacks and not worried about short-term price action. Another thing that might interest me, but it should interest you for sure. This is actually very interesting. This is what I've been talking about, something I've been talking about. If people ask you, let's say Bitcoin were to get to $200,000 between now and 2028, or 300,000 or 400,000, and people are going to look at the market cap and they're going to look at a market cap double of what it is right now. So let's just say $4 trillion for 200,000, something around there. People are going to ask, where's that $2 trillion coming from? Where's it coming from? That's too much money, yada, yada, yada. Well, listen, it's not that people have to buy $2 trillion of Bitcoin. It's actually much less than that. It's a significant amount less than that. And so here's an example with XRP. Ever wondered how much money it takes to cause a $16.6 billion increase in XRP's market cap? Since I'm tracking every trade on all major spot exchanges, I have the exact dollar figure, $61 million. $61 million. That's what it takes. That's what it took recently to increase XRP's market cap by $16.6 billion. That's just a tiny fraction. I mean, let's think about that. 16.6 million is 1/1000th of 16.6 billion. So we're talking about something like somewhere between 3 and 4 1/1000ths of that market cap increase is what increased, is what was bought to increase the market cap. So it's not trillions of dollars. That's going to cause Bitcoin's market cap to rise, cause XRP's market cap to rise. This is what it looks like with liquidity and with an asset becoming more scarce. I am talking about Bitcoin and not XRP. With an asset becoming more scarce, it actually means that it takes less money to drive it up. So fascinating. Only 61 million. That's crazy to me. So next, last crypto part before we get into economic and stock market related things. Guys, let's just be real here, okay? This is what is doing well again. Memecoins and AI. I don't make the rules. I have been proven wrong about AI. I did not think that AI was going to do well, but I'm not surprised at all. Again, that meme coins are doing well, and these meme coins are down so much from their peaks. My goodness. Like Mudang, Nero, Degen, Keycat, Mubarak, Retardio. I actually bought some Retardio yesterday. It's insane to me. But look at how much these are up. Degen is up 80% over a 24-hour span. Nero 45%, Mudang 33%, Dog in Me, my goodness, 28%, Keycat 27%, Retardio 18%. What do you want to do? Do you want to feel some level of dignity? Is that what you want? Then go ahead and buy altcoins, buy utility, and don't buy any meme coins. If you don't care about that, because nobody who's paying attention to your crypto portfolio other than you, really, I mean, if you are okay with losing a little bit of a feeling of dignity in exchange for making more short-term gains during whatever this rally gives us, then please, by all means, buy meme coins. I'm here to make some gains. I'm here to pay off my kids' tuition as a new school year. The new cycle of paying tuition starts in July. I would love to pay that whole thing in July. And right now, I don't feel like I'm willing to sell $30,000 of my crypto to pay that whole thing off in July. But this is it. This is the opportunity, not the opportunity. This is your best opportunity. I'm sorry that this is how this works, but we are in a clown world right now, and this is how it works right now. Maybe one day it won't be like that. On some not as good news, a reason why I am still very cautious and bearish for some point. When am I bearish for? I've been saying till the end of the year. We're seeing the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ above their 200-day moving averages. if we can remain above the moving averages, maybe I'll change my perspective and think that we're going to run until the end of the year. But at some point, we're going to have to face the music. I'm telling you guys, I am telling you with absolute certainty, we are going to have to face the music. And so here we go. This is the Fed policy mistake explained to a 5-year-old. There is no inflation pressures, even though Jerome Powell keeps talking about this stupid tariff inflation. Oh no, the tariffs are bringing inflation. There's no inflation pressures. We saw the CPI report come out on Wednesday. It went down. It went below expectations again. There are no inflation pressures. And I know some of you are going to respond and say, oh yeah, but it's still some months out. Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. No inflation pressures. Consumer confidence is plummeting. Unemployment level, is it moving up or down? It is moving up. And yet the Fed is keeping rates at 4.33%. This will not end well. All right. Do I agree with this entirely? I would say I do wonder. I do wonder if I want the economy to be healthy. I want there to be a lot of confidence. I want unemployment to not move higher. I would love it if we saw a 1995 or 1998 scenario with the federal funds rate. I mean, you can actually see it on the screen here. 1995, they raised rates going into 1995. And then they lowered a little bit, and then it was just flat for a while. And then they raised the rates a little bit in 1997. And what happened? We saw the roaring 90s. We saw the stock market go crazy because they didn't need to lower rates until they did in 2000. You can see in 2000 they lowered rates a lot. And so if the Fed doesn't need to lower rates, fantastic. Let's do this thing. I don't know what that means for your altcoins, but I'm telling you for Bitcoin, that's very bullish. If the Fed does need to lower rates and they're not, oh man. I don't know, man. I don't know. So that might mean, well, you know what that might mean? That might mean a fantastic crash and then the money printer being turned on and the opportunity of the decade. So we'll see where this goes from here. S&P 500, maybe we should be keeping it simple. And this is another tweet. I'm not sure if I agree entirely, but there is an argument to be made that in general, we should just keep it simple. So what do we see here? Caleb Franzen. What we know for a fact is that uptrends are characterized by the price of an asset trading above its 200-day moving average. That's why you see on all of my charts the 200-day moving average in a bright yellow line, yes. Okay. I don't know about you, but I like to own and be bullish on things that are in uptrends. That's literally how arbitrage works. The S&P 500 is now above its 200-day moving average. I think that's important. If we fall back below the cloud, then I'll get bearish again. It's that simple, adaptable, and flexible as always. So we are above the 200-day moving average. This is significant. This is the most challenged that I have felt on my thesis that we would enter a recession within 12 months after the first rate cuts, which was September 18th of 2024. But historically, there have been times. You can see a V-shaped recovery in 2018 here. People don't remember that very well. They do remember the V-shaped recovery from COVID. You can see a little bit of a struggle here in 2015, 2016, but an ultimate breakthrough. If you look back historically, 2008, 2000, there were times that we did have bull traps above the 200-day moving average. And you can even see in 2022, there was a bull trap. But what does this more look like? This sharp decline and then this so far V-shaped recovery, that does look more like 2018 and less like 2022. 2022 was just a little bit of a move below the 200-day moving average and then a move up and then a dump. Right now it's a significant move below the 200-day moving average and then a retrace higher. So I think the next slide, I do have a comparison. We are aligning very well with 2018 right now. The ideal scenario would be aligning with 1998, but from here, that what would that be would be another dump, another move down, and then a recovery. So like an Adam and Eve double bottom kind of scenario, which I'm not too excited about. I don't want that to happen, but it does certainly look like we're aligning very well with 2018. You can see that here again. 2018 going into early 2019, very scary moment, but then we recovered, V-shaped recovery. So is that what we have in store right now? I would say, according to most analysts, the odds are in favor of a V-shaped recovery, which means, if that's the case, that we shouldn't have much to worry about with Bitcoin for the remainder of the year. Aside from what I shared in this previous tweet here. Will the S hit the F? What's the solution? Here's my solution. Don't be greedy. Take profits. If you are in profit, take profits. And then, oh my goodness, this is funny. I didn't even think about this, but you cannot make this up. Jim Cramer's 1987 Black Monday prediction was the exact market bottom. The NASDAQ is up 24% since he is the single greatest indicator known to mankind. I just didn't even remember that. I remember hearing Jim Cramer calling for a Black Monday stock market crash. And I remember thinking like, no, lots of people are calling for Black Monday. No. And then it turned out that that wasn't the case. But whatever. Seriously, whatever. Okay, moving on. Bitcoin, 103 and change. Just feels like a choptastic moment right now. We'll see. Would love to see stochastic get bottomed out. Would love to see some RSI not be as overheated as it is. Bitcoin dominance is green today, but you can see with Bitcoin dominance some chop as well. Interesting reaction to CPI report was that, it didn't go up crazy or anything. It just, to me right now, it seems like there's a period at least where there's going to be some profit taking. But in my opinion, we do have a bit higher to go with Bitcoin. So, and a bit lower to go with Bitcoin dominance. We can see what is trending on DexScan. Sky AI, don't know what that is. Trump and Fartcoin. Fartcoin is still trending, everybody. Ethereum 25.51. Tether. Yeah, $1 for Tether. Wouldn't you believe it? XRP 252. Binance 654. Solana 174. Dogecoin 22.72. Cardano about 80 cents. Tron, kind of a stable coin right now. I mean, Tron's doing fine, but all right. Still some time to go. I am not interested in being a seller right now, but things can change on a dime. Anyway, that's all I have for today. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful rest of your week, and I will most certainly be seeing you in another video. Peace!